Rob Dibble Show.
Back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. Joining us from CLNS Media, he covers the Reds, covers the Bengals, covers everything out there around that way. Mike Petraglia. And Mike joins us now on the hotline. And Mike, I was telling people in the first segment, 19 games to go. They're 6 games basically behind the Mets after they lost that game with the bases loaded in the ninth inning against them. I mean, what was the percentage of people that thought they had a chance 3 weeks ago? And then even going into the Brewers series, how many of the people that you're around were thinking, there's no way they can take 2 out of 3 or even 3 out of 3 from the Brewers?
I'd say general population, Dibs, after that series against the Mets, it was probably 10%, maybe 5 to 10%. Of diehard Reds fans, bump it up to maybe 25% because a lot of them figured the Mets would eventually met themselves. But after what they were able to do against the Chicago Cubs, sweep them in 4 games at Great American Ballpark, that brought everybody back on the wagon. Then they lose the 2 games to the Pirates, another last-place team, a week and a half after getting swept in Sacramento by the last-place A's, and you're like, will this team ever make up its mind? And then to see them take the first 2 games in Milwaukee, I think the Reds fan base is saying to themselves, this is a one-of-a-kind team, and I think they're ready to go.
One of the biggest differences with the Cincinnati Reds and the rest of the world is they let their pitchers go. They have 4 complete games. That's the most in bigs. How much does that help their pitching staff, especially at the back end? Because I do believe that sweep of the Cubs started with a Hunter Green complete game.
Oh, Hunter Green 1-hit shutout, as a matter of fact, Ben. So, yes, there's no question that tomorrow could set the tone not only for the Dodgers series, but the rest of the playoffs if Hunter Green comes out and does what he's capable of doing, and that is shutting down a very potent L.A. Dodger lineup. He did it against a very potent Chicago Cubs lineup. Obviously, we know that the one thing the Cubs do is hit the ball and hit it hard and well. Maybe not as much in the second half as they did in the first half, but still, Hunter Green's going to have to be at his best tomorrow, and I'm just curious to see. Look, Terry Francona knows Dave Roberts, right? He knows a lot of his tendencies. He managed him. He knows him from his days, managing him to a limited degree in Cleveland. But still, I think it's going to be a fascinating matchup to see how they use Mookie Betts at the top of the order, Freddie Freeman, who is just one of the most dangerous hitters at any time of the season, but especially in October. But I think the Reds are well suited to match up arm for arm with the lineup of the Dodgers.
Absolutely. I mean, Green, Singer, and Abbott should be able to win this series as long as they keep the team in it. I mean, there's going to be no Kershaw. The Dodgers have already said he won't be on this first-round team. You got Shohei. They don't know how they're going to use Shohei. You kind of want a team that has its doubts, and this is a team that underachieved. I mean, when the season started, everybody's like, this team's going to win 162 games. They're never going to lose. And they didn't even win the division. So I kind of – go ahead.
No, Dibs, not to interrupt you. The thing, and I wrote this for CLNSCincy.com, the Reds at this point are indeed playing with house money. They're playing loose. They're playing like a frat team. That's what the 04 Red Sox were for a good portion of the second half of the season. You know, they got down to the Yankees 3-0, and Kevin Millar famously said, "Don't let us win tonight." And the "can't kill us" moniker that the Reds have adopted now, from Nick Martinez all the way down to Terry Francona shouting it in the clubhouse in celebration yesterday. That's the attitude they're taking. You can't kill us. And we feel that, we believe that, and it's an attitude that I think is going to take this team a long way.
Emilio Pagan, he is the closing end now since Alexis Diaz has left the building for the Cincinnati Reds and isn't playing anymore. Tell us about this, and tell us about just basically the bullpen of the Reds, because it feels like it's going to be the deciding factor for all teams.
Ben, I don't think there's any question about that. I think Emilio Pagan is one of those types. He's a Bulldog. He pitched 4 straight games Wednesday through Saturday. How many pitchers in baseball he does at the end of the bullpen? Not a lot. And so to see a guy like Emilio Pagan want the ball, even though he has that Bulldog mentality that I think will really stand the Reds in good stead throughout the series. I think he's capable of doing some things at the back end of the lineup, back end of the bullpen, I should say, that gives Terry Francona the confidence that he's got somebody who won't shrivel in the moment. He may get hit. He may not have his best stuff. I'm not saying that. And there have certainly been times throughout the season where that has been the case, but he won't shrivel up. And now those are the guys, and Dibbs, you know this, Francona looks for in big moments. And I think the Reds have a lot of those guys at the back end of the bullpen. The other thing that I cannot stress this enough, the one thing that has changed the entire dynamic of that bullpen, Connor Phillips and Chase Burns. They have 2 guys that can throw 100 loaded into that bullpen that they did not have for a good portion of the regular season. It's completely changed the way Terry Francona can use his bullpen. And that is one thing. If this team gets hot and can manage to score 3 or 4 runs a game, not 5 or 6, if they can do 3 or 4 runs, I think they have a good chance of going pretty far.
Noel V. Marte, unbelievable catch. Reminds me, and we talked about this, at Glenn Braggs' catch in the NLCS 35 years ago. Friedel with some big hits, McLean, Steer, Lux. Some of these guys, they didn't have the greatest regular seasons, but that's reminiscent of a lot of Yankee teams that won. If you look back at Scott Brocious and some of those other guys, they'd hit 220 in the regular season. Who do you like going into the postseason? Who is? I mean, obviously, a lot of attention goes to Ellie De La Cruz. Who do you think can step up against the Dodgers? I know the Dodgers were 5-1 against the Reds. Reds only won 1 time against the Dodgers this season. Who can step up in this 3-game series?
Spencer Steer, Gavin Lux, and I'm going to give you a rookie that was just barely eligible for the postseason, who they brought up on August 31st, Sal Stewart. He is a professional hitter, Dibbs, and again, another guy, a young player who I don't think is going to shrivel in the big moment. Sal Stewart is somebody I would keep a very close eye on, because he's such a good hitter, and he does add a new dimension to the Reds lineup. So he'd be somebody I keep a very close eye on.
After you've seen 162, now we know the matchups, the playoffs are set. Who do you like out of these 12 teams? Who would you put money on to win the World Series?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go in the American League. I'm going to go with the Seattle Mariners. I just think it's their time, and I think they have a very deep lineup. I think they've got the pitching. And I like the Mariners by a lot, actually, over Toronto. I think the winner of the Red Sox-Yankees is going to get to the ALCS against Seattle. That's what I think it's going to happen. And I just think it'll be – or do they play – I don't have the bracket in front of me. But
no, you'd be right.
Red Sox, Yankees, they would go on to play the Blue Jays, who are the 1 seed. Tigers, Guardians would play the Mariners.
Right.
So I think the winner of the Red Sox, Yankees goes on to play the Mariners in the ALCS, and I think this is the Mariners' year to get to the World Series. National League, I think it's going to be I'd love to see the Reds do it, but I'm going to stick with the Philadelphia Phillies. They, to me, have all, much like their football counterparts, the Eagles, they have been the best team that I've seen all season long. I like the Philadelphia Phillies by just a tick over the Milwaukee Brewers.
I know this is a long shot, but Kyle Schwarber, free agent at the end of the season, 56 home runs, 132 ribbies. He loves Cincinnati. Would they actually open up their wallets to get that kid?
I doubt it. I think I just don't. For everything that I've been told, I don't think Schwarber will concede to taking a shorter-term contract, that it would have to be for the Reds to sign him to the kind of average annual value that he would be in line for. So I'd say probably not, but who knows? I mean, if the Reds feel like this is one more year before 2027 and a labor stoppage, maybe they break out the checkbook and pay him for 2 or 3 years. That's the only way I think that happens.
Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media. I think this may be the first time in a long time where October in Cincinnati is run by the Reds and not the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't even know how many people in Cincinnati land are going to watch the game tonight. Bengals at Denver. What's this team going to do? Are they going to roll with Jake Browning the entire time? Or are they going to try to make a move to potentially get somebody else to play quarterback?
And that is a great question. Watch Jake Browning closely tonight. If it's another bad game, I think the Bengals are going to feel a lot of pressure after just spending whatever it was, $250 million on their 2 wide receivers. You got to find a quarterback that can get the ball down the field to them. Whether it's Russell Wilson, which a lot of people think could be on the Bengals' radar, he's Jeff Blake 2.0, only with Super Bowl cachet on his resume. He can just throw go balls and throw balls down the field and have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins go for him. Tonight's a big game for Jake Browning and the running attack. If it doesn't show up, I think the Bengals are going to be forced to make some big moves. And consider the Ravens are 1-3. You have a chance, a golden opportunity this year to take that division if you win tonight and go to 3-1. And I think that's going to be foremost on the Bengals' minds. And I'm here in Denver. I'm very fascinated to see how the Bengals approach the game tonight after that embarrassment in Minnesota.
Jags, you are the best, my friend. Appreciate your time. Go Reds. At least get by this first round. Beat those damn Dodgers, man. That would be sweet.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a great story. And I think the city of Cincinnati, in terms of their baseball fan base, could certainly use it.
Absolutely. Mike Petraglia, everybody, CLNS Media. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right.